What's up YouTube? My name is Jinx. Today I want to share a trick about how to get massive LP gains in a single day. This is the trick I used for getting rank 3 in set 3, and I've never shared this with anyone, as well as I don't see a lot of people doing this. So to understand my trick a little better, we need to talk about flexing and forcing. You have players on the ladder who play flexibly, they play what the game is given to them, and they end up with a different comp almost every game. Then you have players on the ladder who force a certain build every single game and climb that way. And then you have someone like me who does both, as I believe there's a time and place for both playstyles depending on those situations. So now let's talk about that. So at the start of each season or a big new patch, what you'll see me do is practicing a build over and over by forcing it. So generally there's about 3 to 5 builds that are viable at a time. And I'll force every single, so I'll choose a day, and this day I'm going to be forcing this one build. I'm going to learn the heck of it. I'm going to learn the ins and outs, items, positioning, everything about the build that I can, when I can run it, when I can't, depending on the lobby. Then the next day I'll go ahead and force another build. And I'll do this until I'm comfortable with multiple builds. And then what this leads to is maybe after a week or two, after I've practiced every single build, now I can start playing flexibly each build, as I can recognize the conditions that need to be met in order to play each specific build. Now that I know how to force builds and how to play flexibly, I start looking for patterns on the ladder. I'll wake up every morning and I'll take a look at the leaderboards of the major regions, EU West, Korea, and North America, and I'll take a look at the top 10 players and see what they're playing. Now, the website you want to use, for the one I use if you're not familiar with this, is I take a look at lolchess.gg, so I'm going to swap over to that now. This is the website I use, and then head over to the leaderboards, and as we said, the 3 major regions, and I'll go through the top 10 players. Now, I'm not necessarily looking at what they're playing specifically. Instead, what I'll do is I take a look at what is winning in the lobby, and I look for patterns. So I go through all the lobbies, take a look, okay, what won this one, what won this one, then go through rank 2 NA, rank 3 NA, and do that for Korea and EUS as well, and see if I can catch a pattern, see if there's a build that's reoccurring. And I just take a mental note of what build is popping off right now, what build are people playing, what is having the most success. Up next, I take a look at my own games and what's winning in my lobbies, and then I combine that with checking out streamers. And again, I'm not just paying attention to what they're playing, I'm always keeping an eye on what's winning in their lobbies. So now I have a massive amount of information, both from the leaderboards, my own games, my own lobbies, and then other streamers' games, always keeping in mind what's winning, what's not. Now, this information can change from day to day. One day you might have rebels dominating, the next day you might have cybernetics. So here's where my trick comes into play. I pay attention to what's being contested in my lobbies, and because I've forced build and I've played flexibly, now I understand matchups better. So if I notice on a particular day that the lobbies are going ham after cybernetics, and I see that rebels aren't being contested that much, and I know that it's currently a good build because I've checked the leaderboards, it can win games, and then I know the matchup, rebels is good into cybernetics, so then, and I'm also noticing it's not contested, so then I can go ahead and force rebels. Now, if I see that maybe rebels isn't working, I'll turn back into playing flexibly, and I'll always look for patterns. Is there a build right now that's not being contested and has good matchups into what's currently being played? Now, last but not least, I take a look at up and coming new players who maybe I haven't seen before on the ladder. And when I take a look at them, I notice they're climbing 200, 300 LP out of nowhere. So I take a look at what they're playing. The way I do this is from my own, or the way I catch them is from my own lobbies. As I'm playing throughout the day, you start seeing the same names over and over. And if I notice the same name is winning all the lobbies I'm in with the build that I don't see many people playing, then I'll go ahead and take a look at their profile. And if I notice something interesting, they're playing this build every single game, no one else has caught on to this build, and they're popping off right now. They're coming out of nowhere. Maybe they haven't hit the high ranks yet, but they're starting to get that climb going. Then I go ahead and copy that build. I take a look. What items are they going? Are they playing it from what I saw in my lobbies? And then I'm the first to use that build to go ahead and get that massive LP as well. The best examples I have of this from set 3 were with Star Guardians, Dark Stars, Kale Comp, and finally Rebels. Those were the builds that got me the most LP in a single day, and what made me start pushing into the top 10. So with Star Guardians, it was the case of finding a new player. Someone I noticed in my lobbies was playing Star Guardians. No one was playing Star Guardian at the time. I took a look at their profile. They were climbing like crazy, and I noticed that he was getting it uncontested, basically. So then I looked for a time to play when he wasn't playing the same time as me. Therefore, I'm the only one playing Star Guardians in my lobbies. I jumped like 200 LP in one day. Next was Dark Stars. We saw Solus. He popularized the build, but not that many people knew how to play it that well yet, and I caught on to it before the masses, right? So I took Dark Stars, another free 200 LP the day that I chose to spam it. And then after that was the Kale Comp, and this was a flexible build. You had Kale with Jhin, Kale with Jinx. You can go into just Jinx if you weren't hitting the kill. There were so many variations. And I noticed that, again, people weren't able to play it that well. So then that was like my flexible week where I spammed Kale Comp or Jinx Comp as well, whatever I was hitting that time. And then finally, right before the set 3 ended, was Rebels. I noticed no one was playing Rebels. I knew how to force it. I knew how to play it. I had seen many people do it. So then that was what ended up finally pushing me into the top 3. So if you were to take a look at my 10 games from week to week, you would notice that 1 week I'm forcing a build. Next week, I'm all over the place playing whatever. The week after that, I'm forcing a different build. And basically, I would just always do what I mentioned, right? Take mental notes. What's strong? What's being uncontested? Is there a build that's not being contested right now and has good matchups into what's currently popular? That's going to do it for today's video, but don't leave just yet. If you enjoyed the content, go through the whole jazz quickly, subscribe, comment, like. It actually helps me out, and it actually helps you to get a notification when my next video goes live. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye for now.